So, a big sigh because you guys are expecting me to be going a big rant, aren't you? I'm not actually. I'm going to have a discussion, but I want to kind of do this a lot differently than what I have done previously. About these guys. Okay? Now, I watched a few videos today, different ranking videos about said band. And I've also seen a few videos where they've talked about them and just talking about the reissues, the Walmart reissues. Of course, the Walmart reissues are in the States. Walmart doesn't sell vinyl here in Canada. Now, I want to do this because my rants prior have been pretty harsh. Now, I'm trying to get away from rants, but if I do a rant, I'll do it sort of less aggro, I guess. Unless it's something that I really have to go off on. But that's yet again, that's going to be a pick and choose sort of thing. Now, they're literally coming up on 40 years. Okay? 40 fucking years. And I know this because their actual date of formation is my actual birthday. October 28th, 1981. And obviously they're going to do something. What, I don't know. I hope they do something. Or at least you would think. You know, every year, like every couple of years now, I think they should do something. Whether it's release some crazy ass box set of whatever, or, you know, I'm sure they'll do something because, you know, Lars can't get away from not promoting in some way, shape, or form. Not that I think they need the fucking promotion, and not that I think that they are going to struggle to keep their fans. I guess with my history with them, and of course, you know, I mean, I know there are people that have watched my video of Metallica time and the Metallica Black in 2020 thing, which I've gone back and rewatched it, and it's still not that good. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and chastise them over it because they don't know me, not from a hole in the ground. They don't care. They already know what people are saying about them. And I mean, should they get the hate? Possibly. But they don't care. And I guess that's always been my biggest problem with the band. You have fans that really want you guys to put out an amazing thrash record. Now, and I get it, they haven't been thrashing, like, you know, basically 30 years. You know, they had a couple thrashy type tracks on, you know, their last record. You know, Spit of the Bone was not bad for that style of track. But what I don't like about Hardwired is it's too long. It's really, really long. And a lot of people would say, well, that's what, don't you guys want what they did on Justice? No, I actually don't want what they did on Justice. And I guess at the end of the day, you know, I don't want this either. But a record of this sort of length, and even caliber is not that bad, because if you look at it this way, and you guys know this record, like, this is literally my favorite Metallica record. If you want to get technical with these guys, like Fight Fire with Fire, 4 minutes 44 seconds. Ride the Lightning, 6 minutes, 36 seconds. It doesn't seem like 6 minutes and 36 seconds. It really doesn't. From the Bell Tolls, 5 minutes and 10 seconds. If you shrunk down that friggin' intro, it's going to be about little over 3 minutes long. Maybe closer to 4. Fade to Black, 6 minutes and 56 seconds long. Blah, blah, blah. Trapped Under Ice, 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Oh, an underrated gem in their entire discography. Let me put it to you that way. Escape, 4:23. Call of Creeping Death, 6 minutes or 36 seconds. And even that doesn't feel like it's overly, like it's that long. It really doesn't. And Call of Cthulhu, 8 minutes, 52 seconds. Now, of course, that's an instrumental, so that could, obviously that's going to be a little bit longer. And I don't have a problem with that. But Hardwired is almost 80 minutes long. And to start off the record, you've got a punk song, basically, that's probably only a couple minutes long, if that. And then, of course, you got Moth into Flame, which is a nice sort of hearkening back to the Justice days. And then Spit Out the Bone. Whew. Spit Out the Bone. You could probably put that on Puppets. But the problem is that all us old fans who've shit on them so hard for any friggin' reason or excuse, I've always kind of wondered if someone could just say, hey, why don't you guys crank out half the record one way and half the record, to appease to the older fans? Like, what's the harm in that? And I really wouldn't say much. I guess it depends on how thrashy it was. And I do the air quotes because I don't expect them to ever put out a record of blistering thrash. It's never going to happen. And I guess that's why when some people say to me, oh, well, Metallica's still one of the biggest bands. Yeah, they are the biggest bands. They took that road to get to that sort of level. And frankly, I don't blame them when it comes to wanting to make a living. Because nowadays you're not making nothing. Not playing stuff like this. Unless you're these guys, and then, that you do put it out, and the record goes like, double or triple platinum in like its first couple of weeks. Because a lot of the old guys would be like, oh my god, this is amazing. But I guess at the end of the day, I don't hate Metallica. I hate what they've become. And, honestly, I did a vinyl sort of metal tag 2021 where I basically shit all over Lars. And while I don't think that Lars's drumming is spectacular, yes, he was a massive part of this band going to these lofty, lofty heights. Because the man did have drive. The man did and does still have drive. He does still have passion. He still does have the ability to do things. But a lot of the decisions along the course of the way, apologies, folks, he's made some dumb decisions. The Napster thing. I understand why he did it. Don't get me wrong. But you've literally paved the way so that people are to the point now, oh yeah, Metallica put a new record out? Fuck buying it. I'm just going to go stream it. And I guess at the end of the day with those guys is they're still going to get a billion streams because people are going to play their records over and 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 over. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want to make that very clear. If you want to stream them, go ahead. Personally, and I make no bones about this. every one of these records that they've re-released, Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, and Justice for All, Master of Puppets, I've bought them all. You know, they still sound good. I mean, personally, I wish they would have taken, and Justice for All and not only remastered it, but remixed it and turned the fucking bass up. Because, thanks, Lars. But, yet again, that's one of those things where they're going to do what they want. And you can't really criticize them for it because they're going to kind of come and go and do whatever they want. And I guess being a longtime fan that I have been, and I mean, I haven't listened to a lot of the stuff over the last, say, 2 years. I guess I hold my criticisms, like, I still hold them at the forefront. It's that sort of old thing that, like, I'm just like, just give us a good fucking killer record. And a lot of you out there probably go, well, they did put out a couple killer records. They did, Death Magnetic, and then they did, Hardwired, and they're like, those are killer records. I'm like, here's the problem. Death Magnetic actually was semi-decent. There were some good songs on there, some good, solid songs. But even on Hardwired, for me to put that record on, there's only like 3 or 4 tracks I even want to listen to. Hardwired, Spit Out the Bone, and Moth into Flame, because Moth into Flame it's got a pretty decent little vocal section in there where it's like, this sounds great. And I think if you took Lars off the drums and put another drummer there, maybe it might kind of boost them a little bit. But here's the thing. All of my fucking dislike of them and the decisions they've made, pushing all that aside, they're still one of the top rated bands of all time. Deserving of being a place in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as much as I think that's a sham. And I don't mean Metallica being in there, I mean the Hall of Fame a sham as it stands. And probably what I'm going to do this week is I'm probably going to go through and have all the records on my phone. And I'm probably going to take the first 4 records, put them in my car, and enjoy them again, I think. Because, and I know some of you guys were like, what's he babbling on about? Why are you doing this? Well, it's simple. My old videos on this channel were pretty harsh. Okay? Like, extremely harsh. And I guess I just have a higher expectation of them because I've been listening for so fucking long. Stray hair kind of kicking in my beard there. Sorry, guys. Being such one of those guys where I'm like, just give me a record. I still want that because I still want to. I remember going into Music World, and in Canada, that was our big chain years and years ago. I still remember going into Music World where they had the stands where you could put the headphones on and preview records. I used to do that every day. I'd go in there and I would literally listen to that whole record. Reload. I listened to Reload over and over and over and over and over. And there are still times with that record where I'm like, yeah, man, I really could use like Carpe Diem Baby, Bad Seed. I could still use Prince Charming is killer, Attitude, Fixer. I mean, those songs were great back then. But as you get older and as you start developing love of different bands and different styles of bands, your taste changes, and listening to Load and Reload is kind of passe and kind of blasé. So I guess at the end of the day, for me, it's a matter of putting aside my frustrations and going out and listening to the records again the way I used to, constantly, and I mean constantly. You know, opening the booklet, like that there. Like, I used to stare at this picture like a lot. Like, I was completely obsessed with this record. And I was like, like, I wanted to be James Hetfield. I wanted to be able to play guitar like him. Jesus, I couldn't. I'd be lucky if I could care. I'd be lucky if I could get a proper, downstroke without fucking up. I mean, I enjoyed playing their stuff on bass because it was a lot of fun, but guitar, I'm just terrible. I mean, on this record, like, and this was another picture I used to stare at. Like, come on, you guys know this. Like, Lars down there and Cliff, like that. I used to stare at that picture for, like, forever. James up in the corner, and Kirk, Cliff, and Lars, of course, and just that old aged picture, I just, and of course the CD. This thing has, this is probably the cheapest looking sort of blasé. Like, there's no art there, but it's just the words. It's just the titles of the songs, and that's really what a lot of people who love Metallica and including myself did. Really, it was, listen to the fucking record for what it is and what it was. If I could ever get this to go in here, I used to have such a hard time putting them in there. But I've been going on and on and on for 17 minutes now, kind of waffling on like a twat. I'm considering going out and getting the vinyl, because I think it would be a lot of fun to put that on the turntable and just give them a listen. But in closing, I want to make it clear that while I'm grumpy with the band, because being a fan as long as I have, and I guess, some people could say, well, they don't owe you anything, man. Well, it's never about owing me anything. It's about, if you make decisions and you fucked up, own that shit. And I think they have. I think they have over the years. Sometimes they don't. It only took Lars like how long to actually admit that Injustice, the bass, oh, that was kind of me, kind of like a joke. It's like, dude, that's not a joke. Like, you had literally the only guy to try out for you that played bass with a pick and literally can down pick with fucking Hetfield. You guys basically drove him the fuck out of the band during those years. You literally drove him out. He quit for a fucking reason. And when you guys did the 30th anniversary and he come out to do some songs and the place went berserk, hello. I don't hate the band. Okay, I really don't. Like I say, I'm frumpy. I'm fucking grumpy about stuff that they did. And people, like I said, you can look at this as I'm sort of being a bitch about this. Well, I'm really not. And the other records past Justice are not bad. They are overplayed, especially the Black Album, overplayed. But I don't hate them. I just guess that because they're so overplayed, I guess that's where my hate is. And that's why I tend to stick to the first four. including this bad boy, because it's my all-time favorite Metallica record. It always has been, and always will be. Never going to change. I'm probably going to go listen to it now. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I really appreciate this. If you like this video, give it a like, you know. Leave me a comment down below. I appreciate that. You know, I'm hoping they're a little nicer than they have been over the last few Metallica videos I did, where I got completely destroyed. Please, if you feel like you have to pick on me about yawning, go ahead. It's been a long day. But yeah, no, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go get reacquainted with the records again and see, you know, reignite that love that I had when I first started listening to them. So, thank you guys so very much again for watching. I cannot thank everybody enough, my new subscribers. I cannot thank enough to the people who watch these things. I mean, I honestly didn't think anybody would watch them. You know, I'm glad that people do, and you know, and I hope I can get as many views on this as I can. I would love to. And if you like this video and others, go ahead, subscribe. Keep in mind that some of the older Metallica videos are kind of mean. Some videos on here are kind of just bad. You can ignore those ones. Over the last month or so, I've been really trying to work on doing some different stuff and showing off collections and hanging out, watching some videos from the guys in the vinyl community, etc., etc., etc. But, you know, thanks, guys. Cheers. That's another thing I do. I go to turn off my camera, and I can't because my fat finger doesn't allow me to. That's what happens when you get sausages for fingers. Cheers, guys.